he sent us something to have it hooked up, but I guess Wayne didn't get to hook it up. So
Hey, would it be possible to disable, board, and capture large capital ships, such as a Bengal carrier? Did you hear that?
to disable,
Like board a ship and take it over?
yeah, totally. That's how you're gonna get it. That's how you're gonna get it. And that's already so the dynamic in the single player is that's what it's in there for. So that like you have to repel people trying to take over your ship, boarding it, or you try and say take over a Vandal ship by going in and disabling the engines or something in a boarding party. So all we're doing is we're taking the mechanics from the single player into the Star Citizen open world part.
So those will be NPC ships to start with, but players will attack them and take them over?
Yes, and the ones that you can't get. So like the Corvette, people have got, so they'll have that, but the bigger ones, no. And it'll also it'll have to make sense, right? Because I don't think the United Empire of Earth looks kindly on a bunch of people showing up and trying to take over one of their carriers in orbit around Earth. That probably would not go across very well. So it has to be sort of in the right situation.
I wonder if there's some sort of like a co-op
Legend, I will ask him that question now.
where the carrier's been taken over by the Vandal and you have to work with all your friends to take it back. And you're left with it to repair afterwards or something.
No, definitely. I'm just trying to think of. I mean, I think we'll have a couple of ways for you to get. But yeah, I mean, basically, what I think is almost like think of like the Ninth Legion, like Lost, and like the carrier is the equivalent of like a Roman standard or something. And so like there's a Bengal class that was lost to the Vandal, and that's what you can go capture back.
Yeah.
Here's a question that somebody asked earlier while you were making tea.
Okay, if carriers will be guild ships, and you alluded to escort ships, will those have guild mates on them? I would see needing X many guild members to crew an additional ship. Some crew members, the guild officers being the CEO that runs.
I'm not sure. It doesn't make total sense, but hopefully you get what he's asking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. The actual player count is going to be isn't determined just yet, and it's going to sort of be determined on what we can handle in terms of making the game kind of fun and playable. So there's different levels of players flying fighter craft around is a different level than 10 people piloting a capital ship around. So that hasn't been a whole. So it's hard for me to say, okay, well, it will be this many people can pilot this ship and this many people can be in the instance right now. So it's so when we say there's maybe there can be 60 players in an instance, there certainly can't be 60 people flying 60 Bengal class carriers.
I see Michael googling away as he prepares his next show.
It is for the 5.5.
Okay.
So that is their goal. Other than
No. Yeah.
Legend, hope that answers
Well,
your
since
question.
we can't actually fly the Bengal into the room,
Yes.
and they've seen a lot of Bengal, like the combat footage that was happening. So,
Chris, may I ask not to get into specifics about your investors, but I mean, have they said anything about being, thrilled about, how much you've gained, or acquired from pledges, or?
They don't go on the World Wide Web, so they know nothing about this.
well, it is definitely true that they're not particularly savvy on all this stuff. So, no, I mean, so I've, but we've shared kind of how we've gone, and they're pretty. I mean, if you're an investor, it's great to see that many people are enthusiastic and are backing something like this so early. So it makes you feel better about your investment.
Yeah.
So on that level, it's good. But yeah, I mean, the people it's just even when you do meet outside of publishers, venture capital or private investors, and they all tell you, oh yeah, we know the game. It's like, yeah, they checked out Angry Birds on their iPhone. They're not really. I've yet to meet occasionally, like when I've met some venture capital things, I think some of the junior people there like are actual gamers, but most of the people that are like the money people are.
Right, they just invest and that's it.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I've not really met them the gamers, but yeah, no, they're definitely. Yeah, I mean, that was what we talked about, which is okay. We're going to prove that people want to play this kind of game, and there's an audience out there. And
but they're like, okay, yeah, that's cool, or like, oh wow,
No, it's pretty. It's definitely it's cool. But from my standpoint, it's even cooler because I'd rather have more money from the crowd and take less from investors because the crowd, they want to play the game. I'm making it for them. So,
right.
So it's always good. So I'm happy just because all this just means we're going to be able to put more content in sooner and do cooler stuff, and that's kind of what I mean.
Right.
How about this question about repairs? Can you explain how repairs will work internally on larger ships?
Well, we're definitely going to have. There'll definitely be stuff that will get damaged and blown up, and you'll go and have to go and sort of repair. So I'm not 100% like what the repair mechanic is. Whether it's the battlefield style repair mechanic where you just sort of are there holding your button down for a while it sort of fixes up. But I'd rather it be a bit more sort of in.
At least that's real time.
Yeah, well, at least it's real time. But I kind of want it to be a bit more in fiction. I'd love to see your guy trying to fix it up, and you see him
working on his own ship.
Well, no. I mean, just even there's a panel or a computer or an engine thing. And problem you see
But on a single seat fighter, you can't get to.
You actually see him trying to weld it or something.
Yeah. So
versus the Battlefield one where it's like he's got, I don't know what it is. It's
just Nintendo style.
It's a repair gun or something.
Well, but if it's a single seat fighter, he has to open the cockpit and go on a little spacewalk now, an EVA.
In that kind of setup, that's kind of why we have the repair droid. No, I'm talking more about our repairs on
larger ships.
Larger ships that you have interiors that you walk around.
Oh, right,
like
Jeffries
a
tubes,
capital ship, or maybe the Constellation.
Yeah, when Scotty used to get in the Jeffries tube.